Here we go again. Reds. PSG will reportedly compete with Barcelona for 26-year-old Manchester United forward Marcus Rashford next year. According to a report by Spanish outlet Fichajes, Marcus Rashford faces an uncertain future at Manchester United. The 26-year-old is attracting interest from high-profile clubs across Europe. Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona will be in a three-way battle to secure his services. Marcus Rashford and a topsy-turvy ride at Manchester United. Marcus Rashford has endured a rollercoaster ride since breaking into the first-team squad at Manchester United. The English international was one of the best young prospects in his homeland when he made his debut in the 2015-16 season. But he has struggled to deliver the goods season after season for the Red Devils. The 26-year-old was a talismanic attacker for Manchester United last season, guiding them to the EFL Cup triumph and the top four finish in the Premier League. But Rashford's performance levels have plummeted this season. He has a paltry record of 2 goals and 4 assists in 21 appearances thus far, with both strikes coming from the penalty spot. Meanwhile, his market value has fallen to €70 million. Rashford's falling performance levels have attracted spiteful criticism from different quarters. But he has also received words of encouragement, with Jamie Carragher empathizing with him while telling him to step up. Meanwhile, the Englishman's Manchester United future has become uncertain, with the situation capturing the attention of Barcelona and PSG, among others. Barcelona, PSG keen on Rashford. Recent reports claimed that Barcelona wanted to sign Rashford in a swap deal involving Rafinha. But those suggestions might be wide of the mark. Nonetheless, the Blaugrana can do with a player of Rashford's qualities amid uncertainties surrounding the futures of Rafinha and Ferran Torres. As for PSG, Ousmane Dembele and Bradley Barcola have struggled to deliver the goods this season. In addition, Kylian Mbappe's long-term future is uncertain, as he is in the final year of his contract. So, Rashford is a viable target for PSG heading into the 2024 summer transfer window. Juventus will also compete with PSG and Barcelona for Rashford's signature. But suggestions that he faces an uncertain future at Manchester United might be unfounded. So, it will be interesting to see if a move to any of the 3 European bigwigs materializes next year. Marcus Rashford has failed to heed Erik ten Hag's warnings at Manchester United. You only have to go back to what Marcus Rashford said himself last season to know his standards at Man United have slipped. It was only 6 months ago at the University of California, San Diego that Erik ten Hag held court with English journalists and Marcus Rashford's lifestyle was raised. When you are not living the right life, you get killed, ten Hag stressed. What is important? Sleep, recovery, nutrition. 3 key areas, and when you don't do this right, you have a problem. You can't perform. So when you ask me about Rashford, the same also counts for Rafa Varane and for every player. You will not reach the levels when you don't do the things right. The next question was, is there a concern that Marcus or any other player has a problem with their lifestyle? So I think in general when I came in at Man United, the standards were not right. That's true. I demand the highest standards in sleep, recovery and nutrition because that makes the difference if you can perform every 3rd or 4th day. That is the demand for every top football player. So at Man United we are demanding the highest standards. Some are letting the standards slip. United are gearing up for a vital month of 5 Premier League fixtures and now an FA Cup 5th round tie. Ten Hag has staked the season on returning players billed as new signings. Lisandro Martinez reminded everyone at Rodney Parade why he is Ten Hag's finest signing. Luke Shaw enhances United and Casemiro is a short-term mentor for long-term linchpin Kobbie Mainoo. Ten Hag acknowledged at his post-match press conference on Sunday that he could field his strongest United 11 for the first time in his 94th match in charge at Wolves on Thursday. Maybe for the first time as long as I was manager, he mused. He will not be amused by Rashford. Rashford has compromised United's preparations and, on the eve of another journey to Molineux, cannot complain if he starts on the bench. He was the most talked about player at Rodney Parade even though he was 160 miles away. There were 7 questions centered on Rashford at Ten Hag's post-match debrief in the Bisley stand. He reiterated on 4 occasions he would deal with the situation. United say Rashford informed them he was pictured out in Belfast on Wednesday evening. It has been suggested it was on Thursday night and United were training on Friday. Clarity will be sought from Ten Hag at his pre-match press conference on Wednesday, but Rashford should be in the seat next to him providing answers on a situation that is prompting more questions. Ten Hag referred to an internal matter. He could not clarify what that was if Rashford's absence at Newport was a mere illness. Johnny Evans, ironically born in Belfast, was also unwell on Friday but flew to Wales on Saturday. Rashford caught a flight to another UK country and then caught an illness. Rashford needs to take ownership of this latest apparent transgression. He owes it to the United supporters who made the trek to South Wales. They have been audibly concerned by his form throughout this season. He has employed a publicist steeped in combating negative PR. Her clientele includes Rafael Varane, Jadon Sancho and Mason Mount, so she ought to be used to it. Nobody is ordering Rashford to live like a monk. Like any 20-something, he is entitled to socialise and let off some steam. United players had a week off earlier this month. And Rashford is not obtuse. He was rapped on the knuckles for attending a birthday party on Deansgate hours after the Manchester derby defeat in October. That is still fresh in the memory and he is image conscious enough to know what is deemed a bad look. Rashford cut a sullen and distant figure at Stockport Station hours after Ten Hag branded his celebratory shindig unacceptable. The quotes were published at 22:30 that Friday evening and Rashford was declared injured for the lunchtime fixture at Fulham the following morning. He watched on from behind the dugout. Matchgoers have been on Rashford's case repeatedly, vexed by his entitled body language and tentativeness in the tackle. He has scraped 4 goals since signing a lavish new contract in July. Rashford has been in the United first team for 8 years next month and he is one of the highest earners. He needs to assume that seniority away from Carrington and Old Trafford. His tardiness for a team meeting before the Wolves match 13 months ago was an innocent error and he admitted as much to this correspondent that Ten Hag's discipline was warranted. "I never made a thing out of it because if I was a coach, I'd have done the same," Rashford said last February. Because if you don't have standards in the training ground, how do you expect to go out on the pitch and win consistently? It's impossible. If you're gonna allow each other to slip or have an off day and no one says anything about it, which is at times a position that we've been in, and once you're in it, it's difficult to get out of it because it becomes normal and I've not seen it at this club before. Rashford, of course, emerged to lash in the only goal against Wolves, but his standards have slipped. Unless something changes, there is only one place to show a player who is losing the confidence of the supporters and is testing the manager's authority.